What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Outlaw Worldwide. As always, I'm your host, Travis Caldwell with Blue Demon, and today we have a very special guest. We have Tyler Sasse all the way down from the great state of Wyoming. He is the president, the owner, the CEO, the big poppy in charge of Western Welding Academy. Tyler, thank you for coming all the way down here to be on the show with us.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate it, Travis. It's always a great day to be here in Houston, Texas, welding with Outlaw Welders Worldwide. I mean, it's a good time.
Right.
I love it down here. It's, in all honesty, Texas, me and the King, John King, we kind of go back and forth about whether Wyoming's a better state, Texas better state. It's close. I really enjoy Texas.
Saying Tennessee's never came into the conversation one time, I see.
No, but I did go to Tennessee once, and it was phenomenal, too.
Well, Tennessee.
But it didn't really, rate.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee made Texas, so, we can set that one just above Texas there just a little bit. Just saying. Thank you, Davy Crockett, wherever you are. Anyway, so I heard you were in the bay a little bit earlier with Hubcap throwing some welds down. What were y'all doing out there?
Yeah, Hubcap, super good welder, good friend of mine. I really, really like that guy. So we were out there just, doing a little grooving on stick welding and TIG welding. We made a couple pipe welds, testing out some equipment, and it was a good time.
I got you. Right on. So I'll definitely have to check that one out here in a little while. So how long have you been in the welding industry?
So I've been in the welding industry about 15 years. I got started when I was fresh, just as soon as I was legal working age. I was 18 years old. That's when I broke out.
I got you. Now were you actually welding prior to that? I take it, maybe some under the table pay. You're probably at like 13 years old out there welding up some stuff, just getting it. I mean, I imagine that's the way Wyoming is. I don't think there's any child labor laws up there or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, if you got the skill, they just throw you in work.
Yeah. No, I mean, in all honesty, to that question, Wyoming is definitely the least regulated state in America. I mean, that's what I love about the place. It's not that we're trying to do anything shady or underhanded, but it's just, it's a great place to grow business. It's a great place to live, and taxes are really low. It's awesome. But no, I started out, I actually started working when I was 14.
Now the truth comes out. There we go.
Yeah, it wasn't 13, it was 14. But I got started pretty young, and when I was in high school, eventually I honestly didn't have enough time to go to high school anymore. So I dropped out when I was 16 years old, and I started working full time. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, and man, it was good money, it was a good time, and,
right.
And I just couldn't wait to get started on this blue collar career,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So of all the years you've been in the industry, Western Welding Academy, how long has that one been open for you?
Yeah, so this company, we've had it going for about 2 years now.
Okay.
And, our growth trajectory and our success has just been phenomenal. Actually, quite a bit ahead of schedule what I had originally had.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great to hear. So if a student's interested in going to your school, what classes do you offer there?
Yeah, so we started out with just one program. We're like, we gotta build a product that employers want to purchase. There's a lot of schools out there, they're building products people don't really care because it's all about money. But ours is more market driven. We want to produce people that the market is interested in and buying that skill set. So we just had one program, but then we had a lot of guys that would call us up and they would say, hey, can we come to your school? Can we? And it was like, it felt wrong to say, well, yeah, we can take you, but you got to go through our whole program. Mm-hmm. It just didn't seem right. Maybe they'd been at another, organization, another welding school or somewhere else. So we built it didn't seem right to take their money and have them go through the whole program. So we built this. It was what we call it an accelerated version, but we couldn't really put them through the accelerated program because they didn't quite have the skill set needed.
Right.
And so eventually we just went back to, we still have the one main program, but we split it into different groups or phases. We call it Welder 1, Welder 2, Welder 3, Welder 4. And you could come in at any level as long as you can pass the pre-test.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So, but your average guy straight out of high school, 18 years old, they go into what we call Welder 5, 6-month course, teaches them everything from how to light a rod up to, high pressure stainless steel, nuclear code welding. It's, very
pretty intensive, right there, and all the everything that you offer.
Yeah.
And then how long do you say, if someone comes in, no experience, how long until graduation would be the expected time spent in your school.
Yeah. So it's a 24-week program, so it's 6 months.
I gotcha.
But yeah, we've turned out a lot of really, really great welders. Had some really, really good successes. We've got. It's like every time we work with an employer, within a few months, they call us back up and they're like, "Hey man, these people, they're so good. Send us everybody."
Right.
It's like, well, that's not really how we work. You know what I mean? We work with a lot of different people. We're not really committed to just one specific organization.
Right.
Other than ours,
of course.
But yeah. So that's kind of a little bit about the school and how it works. We started that. It's kind of our way to give back. I just was doing a lot of traveling, and it's kind of nice to be home on the home front.
I gotcha. So is that why? Now, is that the main reason why you decided to open up a welding school, or?
Yeah. I had no intentions. I mean, I had a phenomenal career, welding pipe, traveling, making, between $200,000 and $300,000 a year. I mean, I had no reason to go into this. I mean, but it's good. It's better for my family. I'm home every night. It's better for my kids. I don't know. I mean, it's just better all around. And I wasn't really actually that excited about it when we very first started, but seeing the success and still being involved with the industry, I mean, it's been great.
I gotcha. Really so what does the future hold or have in store for Western Welding Academy?
We got some big things coming up.
Anything you can talk about, or you're just going to leave it there? Just some big things. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just some big things. Know your business, Travis. just sit there and ask me other questions, because I'm not going to answer this.
Yeah. No, we've got some other things in the works. We're going to be doing some pretty big expansion. Where and the specifics of that, I don't really want to get into too many details on that, but we've got some big things in the works.
I got you. Now, what are your class sizes looking like right now?
So we run 2 shifts, and they stay full. Like the one of the big benefits, I guess, really is Wyoming's not close to anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're really going back to that market driven. I'm really, really passionate about producing a product that the market desires. You know what I mean? If I'm going to train somebody, I want them to have a career that they can go to work. And I always say, like if you're unsure, or if you're I never want to be a place where we're just kind of like this holding center, like people are just treading water because they don't know what to do with your life. Like, we're not your place. You know what I mean? There's other schools. We want the people that are just straight up committed to this industry, because they make better people. They're more driven. They're going to show up, work on time. They got better work ethic. Our best students come from out of state, and currently 90% of them come from out of state. If you're going to travel over 2,000 miles to go to Western Welding Academy, you want it.
Right.
And that's what we want, right? We want those people that are just really, really committed to the industry, because they're not halfway, or they're not half-hearted or half committed, or you know what I mean? So that's what I'm really passionate about, is doing outreach programs to other states, which is one of the reasons why I like coming down here to Texas.
Oh, absolutely. We love having you down here. So, yeah, you said 90% of your students come from out of state. Which state so far is producing some of the best future welders out of all those there?
Good question. This comes up a lot, actually, in our weekly meetings. Is we're really big into data and analyzing it, and knowing how to make decisions not based on emotion, simply from data. But honestly, if I could give a shout out to a state, straight up, flat out, none better so far, percentage wise, Gardnerville, Nevada.
Really?
I've never been there, but I gotta go there. Like, there's something in the water there. I don't know what it is. Where these kids are, and it's like, you would think like little Johnny knows little Tommy. No, like right? You'd think there'd be like some kind of relationship, like little Johnny came first, and then
he told his friends, about the school I went to.
But that's not the case. Like, so we're like, so do you know so and so? And they're like, no, I never met him. Like, so this is just a total organic conversation.
Is your advertising algorithm just for some reason pocketing? Let's say this is where you're going to get the best future welders from this place. We're going to hit it hard.
Yeah, seriously, like hit it hard, Gardner. I don't know. I think something's in the water there, but consistently
just makes them different.
yeah, consistently they just keep showing up, and they're phenomenal people.
Really,
it's amazing. Yeah.
That's I've never heard of that one before. I was expecting, I don't know, Texas or
Yeah, you think, yeah.
Tennessee, Texas. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
So now, do you offer any scholarships or anything like that for people wanting to attend your school?
Yeah. Yep. We do. Every year at our annual welding competition, we give away hundreds or thousands and thousands of dollars worth of. I don't remember exactly what this year is going to be. I think it's either a $10,000 or a $15,000 scholarship for first place winner. That's on the high school side, but we also invite welders from all over the country just to come down there and compete. We do an open division, which is on pipe, and then a high school division, which is on plate.
Right.
It's a good time for basically just an old, salty, worn-out welder that wants to slip one on there.
Yeah.
A brand new guy that's just coming in the industry.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so that's why we do that.
So, what was one of the hardest jobs you ever had, or even one of the shittiest jobs you ever had? I want to know both of them.
Yeah. So, dude, straight up crappiest job I ever had. We were out in Washington State, and we were laying this 42-inch up the side of this mountain, and I'm not kidding you. It was so steep that a dozer could not crawl this, hanging everything on winches, and it would rain every single day. I mean, I have like PTSD flashbacks from this job. It sucked. Oh man, did it suck. Luckily, had a really, really good crew. Tom Hall, good friend of mine, he was there, and when you're welding 42-inch, it's like if you're a right-handed welder, you either weld left-handed or you dig out, on the hillside, so you're like bent over.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just don't work, and it was 680 wall, 42-inch, and we were making 3 welds a day. And I would weld left-handed all day, and the next day Tom would weld left-handed all day, and I'd weld right-handed. So we're working our way up this hill.
Just trade sides going all the way up the hill. I gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, and then the road crossings, the road went up, it switched back, right, and the pipe went straight, and so we would, you can imagine, slick mud, raining, pissing down rain. We were hooched up and tented up, and we would either stop at a bottom road crossing and hike through that mud up to the top, or we'd go to a top road crossing and hike down. Either way, it's not good because you're sliding or sliding.
With all the mud and all the rain that's been going on.
And we would stay up there all day. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm not coming down.
What's the point of even taking a shower once you get off the job site that day? He's like, no, I'm just going to. There's no point. I'm going to go sleep in this hotel room, buddy. Destroy these sheets. I'm going to change my clothes and just go right back in it tomorrow. Ain't no reason.
Yeah. So you got your big old lunchbox and all your gear for the day, and I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times I stood on that road just pissing down rain and like looking up there and like, Tom's standing right there, and I'm like, Tom, I don't know. Like, I don't think this is worth it. We were making good money, don't get me wrong, right? And he'd just be like, come on, buddy, and we'd tear out. We made it. We made the job, but that was definitely the worst job I ever had. By far.
I gotcha. So, what's the best job other than being the owner, El Presidente, El Jefe, in charge of Western Welding Academy? What would be the best one other than that job?
I would say, that was the worst job. I would say doing what I do now, this is by far the hardest job I've ever
Really?
done. Yeah. I would say this is probably, I have the most pride in this because it's my word, it's my bond, it's my reputation, it's my everything.
It's your name on the product.
Yeah, right. But it's definitely the hardest. I've never worked this hard in every. Welding's easy, right? Like show up 30 minutes early, just bust your ass, give them all you got all day long for 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day. Like, that's easy, right? But in trying to inspire this new generation and the blue collar revolution, that's what I call it, the blue collar revolution. It's all about inspiring these youth because, quite honestly, we're in a battle with all these other manufacturing countries, and if America doesn't get it right, like, dude, and the only way, when Intel Corporation is like, well, we could build a computer chip plant in America, right? Because like every single thing in the world has a computer chip in it. We can build that in America. or we can build it in China or some other country, Taiwan, for example, right? Well, why would they do that? Like, and I was like, I'm like loud and proud. I'm like, we're the best, right? We're the best. We're the best. But are we really? Like if you got to battle and fight and like the people aren't there to do the work, or they won't show up to work on time, or they suck. Like America's youth sucks. And the reality of it is, like straight up, the reality of it is nobody's coming. It's up to you and me. Like nobody's coming. Everybody says, well, somebody's gonna come along and change our society. No, bro, us. Like we're coming. Yeah. We're here.
We are the people.
We are the people. Like nobody's coming, so unless we really like ingrain ourselves into these youth and teach them things like work ethic and how to show up to work on time and skill set, that's a revolution. That's blue collar revolution. Like it's up to all of us to do that work. And if we do it really well, like we will win. And I believe we will win.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And it's a worthy struggle. I mean, there's great guys like John King over there at J.K. Weldon, right? That guy's doing it, and he's doing it right. He's involving these kids, and my hat's off to people like that. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Absolutely. All right. And so who inspires you just to keep going in this, or who inspired you to get started in this industry in the first place? What, drives you to do what you do every day?
Yeah. Everybody says, how'd you get where you got? Who helped you, or who, in the sense, really what they're asking is who did it for you, right? Nobody did it for me. By the grace of God, really, I just got up every day, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, went out there and got it, right? Hubcap says the hustle, right? I love that word. It's because that's what it is. It's the hustle. If you got the hustle, you can be anybody in America. You literally can, if you got the drive and the testicular fortitude to make it happen, right? So as far as like inspirational stuff, who inspired me?
Well, it sounds like Tyler Sasse inspires Tyler Sasse. I want to give a thank you to no one, absolutely no one. They did nothing. It was all me.
No, and quite honestly, my father played a huge role in the inspirations that I had. At the end of the day, I just wanted to work with my hands, and I wanted to make as much money as I could. Right? I honestly, I was not biased, or I was not driven for one particular industry or another. I mean, in all honesty, I was going to be a lineman. Like when I was 17 years old, they made like $42 an hour, and that was like more money than the Catholic Church had. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got to be that guy, right?
Right.
But and so when I was young, I would come home. And I had all these ideas, and I'd be like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go be this guy, or I'm going to go be that guy. One of the ideas I had was I was going to be a concrete guy. And he's like, dude, that's dumb. They work really hard for low pay. Right?
So your dad was your backboard that grounded your ideas, or gave you, more encouragement to go after it. He'd say, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Wonder, okay, that's a good idea. Go after that one. I got you.
Yeah. Because, that's exactly what happened, because he was like my backstop. I'd be like, I'm gonna be this guy, and he'd be like, no, that's dumb. Like, but he wouldn't tell me what to do. You know
right.
What I mean? I'd just be like, okay, so I like go back, and then I don't know, a few months later I come back like, I'm gonna be a fence guy. Like I'm gonna build fences. And he's like, no, that's dumb. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like went back, and I was like on this lineman kick. Like I was gonna be a lineman, and then my uncle was actually a pipe fitter, and he's like, hey man, like, we're in a 9-line bind for welders. I mean, there is none, and the average age is 55, 56 years old. Like, they're all fixing to retire. You got to be a welder, And so I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I didn't know anything about welding. Like, in my mind, a welder was like this greasy old dude that had coveralls on and like had this dirty hat, right? I didn't know the power and the potential of what you could become.
Or even look like. I mean, look at Hubcap. I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't wear like a tuxedo to work,
Literally. But I mean, if you make $150,000, $200,000 a year, you should, what
right?
I mean? Like,
absolutely,
yeah. And so I come home one day and I'm like, Dad, I've thought about this. I'm gonna be a welder. And then I knew, because like he would let me get into it about a minute into it, and then he'd be like, no, that's dumb. Right. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had about a minute to convince him before he told me it was dumb. So I mean, I'm just going into it, right? Like, man, I'm like ticking off all the benefits of being a welder. I mean, half of the crap I was just making up because I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Stuff's not related to the industry at all.
Yeah. And he doesn't say nothing. You know, he's just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, I'm going on. I'm way past my minute, you know. And pretty soon I'm like 10 minutes into it, and I'm like running out of things to say. And he says, "That is the best idea I've ever heard you say." And that's it. I mean, that was my inspiration. I mean, and so I went to a little welding school, kind of learned how to weld. I could make a pretty good little 6G in a welding test, and went to work. I made my first year in the business, made $72,000. Learned a ton. Thought I knew, you know, like I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I got out there in the field, I mean, I realized like I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm like, man, I can make a welding test, but you know, one of the first welds I made on the job was a 20-inch stainless steel. Like, dude, son, you know what I mean? You don't know nothing,
right?
You know? Yeah. So be humble, you know what I mean, and hustle. Like you can be anything you ever want to be if you believe it.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey Tyler, I think we'll call it there. Thank you so much for coming down here, spending the last couple of days with us, throwing some welds down, talking to me. Great to have you here, brother. I appreciate it, and you're more welcome down here anytime you'd like. Yeah. And I think that'll do it for this episode, guys. Stay tuned for more stuff coming out of Outlaw Worldwide. Y'all take it easy.
You betcha.